I want to make a simple cake. These are the ingredients. Everything is there, but knowledge and skill are required. The cake recipe is at Chef Oktay's.
After cracking 4 eggs into the mixing bowl, I pour 1½ cups of granulated sugar. We say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and start to froth the eggs with sugar.
But I want this cake to be made with coincidences and chance. So that's why I'll determine the ingredient amounts and timing with this die. Chef Oktay uses 300 grams of flour in the cake. I roll the dice. 6 has arrived. I will use 600 grams of flour. Chef Oktay uses 300 grams of sugar. 2 came. I add 200 grams. There is no measurement, purely by chance. 4 eggs are used for this cake. I'm rolling the dice. 6 has arrived. I will use 6 eggs. Liquid oil should be used at 200 cc, about 1 glass. 5 arrived. Let's say this is 500 grams. 200 cubic centimeters of milk is used. 1 glass. 1 came. I put 100 cubic centimeters. 2 tablespoons of cocoa are used. It came to 4. I will use 4 tablespoons. 1 pack of vanilla is used. 1 arrived. I will use 1 pack of vanilla. Chef Oktay uses 1 packet of baking powder, 16 grams of baking soda. I will use 3 packets of baking powder. I determine the materials to be used with dice. I also determine the shuffling order with the dice. So, can I use a mixer? I can't use a mixer if it's going to be random. First, I pour in liquid oil.
What was the egg trick? You dip it like this. Then rotate it from your fingertip. If no sugar grains come out, it's okay.
Now milk.
I put the flour into a sieve, a packet of vanilla, a packet of baking powder. We eliminate it like this. Its performance gets better.
Can I use a sieve when sifting flour? No, I can't. There is no sieve in coincidence and chance. I mix it directly. I add baking powder and vanilla. I add cocoa. Do I use a baking tray when putting the cake in the oven? No, I can't. It is impossible to conceive of any form, any logical formation, through coincidences and chance. That's why I can't use a baking dish. I'll pour it directly onto the tray.
Let's grease every part of it nicely so that it separates from our mold nicely. It goes into a preheated oven at 180 degrees. It will remain at 180 degrees for 25 minutes. We lower it to 160 degrees without opening the lid. Our cake is baked for a total of 40 to 50 minutes.
The oven reaches a maximum of 250 degrees. Let me break this down into 6 possibilities. I'm rolling the dice for the first cooking. 1 is here, it will be 40 degrees. For the second cooking, the dice rolled 5, it will be 200 degrees. So, how long will it stay in the oven? I identified 6 time zones. I tried to determine everything by chance and coincidence. Now, it's time to put it in the oven. Nothing edible was formed. If this dice were a chef, no matter how many times I tried, I could make a cake like Chef Oktay's. If I try thousands of times through coincidence and chance, maybe one of them will produce a cake close to it. There are thousands of fruits and vegetables offered to us by nature from the darkness of the earth. There are thousands of flowers. Is there anyone who doesn't have a similar original pattern? All are original designs. They are all colorful. There is not a single bad design. So, what happens when you say that human hands have been used on fruits and vegetables in nature? When people interfere with their genetics, things like this happen. Unless genetics are altered, if the growing conditions are taken into consideration, a fruit or vegetable with poor aesthetics will never grow. If there were tens of thousands of bad designs in nature and one good design, we would have the right to say this. This beautiful design was created by chance. But it is not like that. There are billions of designs on Earth: plants, trees, fruits, vegetables. And these are not like me making cakes with ready-made ingredients. I made the cake from ready-made ingredients, I mixed it and made a cake. So how do plants prepare their own materials? Vending machine. It has such a simple mechanism. I put money in, I get chocolate. There are factory-made items in the display case, and I get it for money. What you see in front of me is soil and the seeds of 4 different plants. I throw one of them into the ground, strawberry seeds. This is what I do. What people do is we throw seeds into the soil instead of money. Like putting it into a vending machine. Each seed, with God's knowledge and power, does what the most advanced laboratories cannot do. Special scent is also created for each of them. There is a vending machine as giant as the surface of the earth. We throw the seeds we have, give them water, and after a while, we get hundreds of types of fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are not created with ready-made ingredients like I make cakes. Each seed takes water and minerals from the pitch-black soil, uses these substances to produce amino acids within itself, creates proteins from these amino acids, and grows, develops, flowers, and bears fruit with these proteins. We cannot make a suggestion for any of these fruits, such as if their design should have been like this rather than like this. If their taste should have been like this rather than like this. If their smell should have been like this rather than like this. Everything is in the best possible beauty, in the best way, in the best design. The peel of the apple is according to the content of the apple. The peel of an apple is not like the peel of an orange. The layers of insulation in the peel of that orange are unbelievable. Lemon peel is not like kiwi peel. Each one is a separate work of art. Each one is a separate masterpiece. If we put lemon peel on kiwi, it would look weird. The contents of pineapple are not like oranges. A much more special design was made for it. The coconut has a very hard shell. So how do you open the inside of this fruit? If all sides were like this, it would be very difficult to open. But it is not like that. There are 3 weak points in the plan of creation. Germination points. One of the holes is softer than the others. It can be easily opened with a pointed tool. This is how the liquid inside flows, like a special soft drink can. It is also very original. I'm hitting small blows from here. After those little hits, it opens easily like this, and the coconut emerges. If the shell of a coconut were like an orange or an apple, it would not be able to preserve such content. Its content is also a separate work of art. The shell design of all of them is related to their content. There is interior-exterior harmony. Everything on Earth is in the best possible design and color. Even a simple cake requires a master. When I see this cake, I don't argue whether it was made by someone or not. I look left and right to see who did it. I just look for who did it.
I shared a delicious homemade cake recipe with you, my dear viewers.
Is there any fruit more artistically inferior than this cake? When a person sees things like these, just like with this cake, they should look around and ask themselves, who made this? Who created these? This kind of questioning is a requirement of reason and of being human.